all this linkage here is super sloppy, but it's because they used the wrong size bolts, and when you have this much play before you even activate the bucket. So we have a multi-port operation going here. Shop dummy's got the top of the tranny off, the transmission, not the tranny. We don't want to get a tranny's top off, if you know what I mean. Trying to knock out the drift pin for the shifter because it's way worn out. Look at the gears though. The transmission gears look fantastic. They're really nice. I touched them and they all look very, very nice. They're very nice indeed. Where's that from? Oh, that's for the gear oil, the cap for the gear oil. So anyhow, he's knocking the drift pin out of the gear shifter. I'll show you that. He's off in the shack there in my little shop working on that. So it's early morning, and you know I don't like to sleep. So I'm going to play with the lathe. Yeah, I haven't laid my hands on this beauty in several weeks, and it's going to be nice to get back in here. Let me show you what I'm going to be up to today. Well, actually, the first thing I'm going to be up to is to clean up my spilled coffee. Yeah, you come out here with a cup of nice, fresh, hot coffee, and I promptly knocked it onto the ground over my tools. Dang. So I've got my bench is a mess right now because I've got a couple different projects going on. Jerry, I haven't forgotten about you on the woodworking project, but I'm just muddling my way through the play right now. But I'm jumping right back on this. I have the extra wood here to do the extra side pieces as we talked about. I'm going to rough cut these out of these strips of oak. That's what they look like before I get to them. And then this is what they look like after. So I'll rough cut you some of those, and then I was able to get this cut and tapered. Anyway, I got to run that on the belt, on the sander, the belt sander and disc sander to get that shaped, and I'm going to get that done this week for sure. Since I won't be spending my weekday evenings, got to wear your respiratory protection. I won't be spending my my evenings at the theater, which will be a nice little break. And I've also got the sawmill project going, so I got a pile of steel here underfoot, and then I was moving things around and my coffee went so I went back in, made a little more, and now I've got it in my travel mug for what good that is. So what are we doing today? Let me put you on a tripod so I'm not jumping you around so much, and I'll show you what we've got going. So for today, I'm going to give my neighbors a couple hours break. It's still pretty early on a Sunday morning, and I don't need to be out there banging on that old tractor. So yesterday when I was working on it, I brought a few pieces in to the shop here that I need to work on, that are going to be nice quiet work that I can do. These are chain hooks, actually 2 chain hooks, 1 and 2. They are 6,800 pound chain hooks. I was going to weld these to the bucket. The hook that came on that bucket, or that somebody had put on that bucket at some point in time, broke off, or they cut it off or something. And initially I was going to put a chain hook on either end of the bucket, have 2. And then the more I was looking at it, my neighbor was over yesterday giving me a hand when I was welding up the tube frame on that loader, and he mentioned, he goes, hey, do you think it'd be a good idea to put 2 chain hooks on that bucket, since there's only a single point of attachment to the hydraulic ram, which is right in the center? And it kind of makes sense, you know, if you put chain hooks on either side, you may load that bucket. If I'm picking up a rock or a log or something, I may load that bucket funny. So I'm gonna scrap the idea of putting 2 and just put a single one over the top, pretty close to the hydraulic ram, but right in the center there where the ram pulls, to keep that bucket square. But that's neither here nor there. But what are we doing today inside? Got 2 pins that I need to make. Actually, I need to make some bushings, and I need to make some pins. This is the gear shift lever for that 48-8N. There's a drift pin that punches into here. You can see the hole. That pin is right here. And this pin is extremely worn, and what this does is this sits through here and it stubs out a little bit on either side, I don't know, about a 1/4 inch or so. That sits down in that little pocket where the shifter goes in. It keeps this shifter tight, nice and tight, but it was extremely sloppy because one side of the pin had worn to just about completely nothing. There's supposed to be another 1/4 inch of pin here, and then this one's a bit mushroomed from where it got pounded out, but it's really worn out. So I'm going to make a new pin. I'm going to make it a 1/4 inch longer, this same diameter. I don't have any steel pins pre-made. So yeah, that's a good opportunity for me to play with the lathe. I don't have a knurling bit for it, not yet. Otherwise I would cut slots like this into it, which would hold it in place. So my plan is to make a pin that fits really nice and snug in there and put a little Loctite in, and we'll call that good. The other bit of lathe work I'm going to do, these are the control arms for the hydraulics, the bucket hydraulics. We've got a couple things going on here. Let me zoom in here on macro. These holes are no longer round, they're pretty oval. So my plan is to drill these holes out and make some bushings for it. And I also have to make a new center pin. I think I showed you this already earlier in this video, but this pin is really warmed out. You can see we got a good background here. You can see how that pin is just worn. So I'm going to make a new pin that fits in here, that actually fits into that cast iron pump housing better, and I'm going to make one that fits into here better. And look at that. Just look how much play that is. So this was extremely sloppy. After I figure out the diameter, the proper diameter of this that fits into the cast iron housing, I'll be able to drill these out and make a bushing for these that fits everything nice and tight. I'm also going to have to make new, these are the little control plates that go between the hydraulic plunger and this. All right, to control the bucket controls, and these are in pretty poor shape too, but that's easy. Those are two pieces of flat stock with a couple holes drilled in it. And last but not least, the pins themselves that were just worn out. These are the pins that were holding these flat stock in, these pieces of flat stock, and they have worn themselves past oblivion. I have some roll pins, but what the hell, I have a lathe. I'm gonna make my own pins, and they're gonna be cool. So hang tight, let's see what we can get into. As is typical me, if a little is good, a lot is better, and I got too excited and took too much material off at the end. Here's that gear shift lever. Look at that. That's way too easy. Damn it. Good thing this steel dowel is about 3.5 feet long. So I'm just going to part it off here, and we're going to try it again. This time I'm going to pay better attention to my measurements. Yeah, I mean, this is better than it was before, but as I mentioned, because I haven't bought it yet. I haven't had the time to put the brain power into it. I have the knurling wheels, but I don't have the tool that holds the knurlers. So this has to be friction fit pretty tight into here, and with a little Loctite. So we're gonna cut it off and we're gonna try it again.